What's up, everybody, and welcome to ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news each and every day. I'm Drew Bosley, that's Scott Savage, and you can join us at InsideTheGame.ca, our YouTube channel, Inside the Game Official. Make sure you hit that like button, that subscribe button. We're across all kinds of TV streaming platforms, just like Roku TV, Amazon Prime, Jinx Esports TV, ESTV, and the list goes on and on. And of course, we got you covered on the audio side. You want to hear our sultry voices? Well, you can across 212 platforms over on Fired Up Network. Make sure you check us out over there. Scott, what's on the show today?
Today, we're going to be talking about how leaks are suggesting a Spider-Verse game, and that's very exciting. Star Wars KOTOR is being talked about once more. Hogwarts actually leads Call of Duty in sales for this year. Hogwarts, that is. Let's not lose that. And Free Radical Design has sadly closed due to Embracer.
Embracer strikes again. My goodness. Scott, you smell that? Dude, it's the holidays. That's right. The holidays are just upon us now. We're wrapping up season 5 of Inside the Game. Already 5 seasons, man. It's been an incredible journey. Fast and furious is how we talk about it over here. Nah, not really. But it's been fast for sure. Dude, there's always so much to cover over here. It's been an incredible 5 seasons. We're wrapping up here this week. This Friday will be our last episode of ITG Daily. And we've got a plethora of ITG across the holidays to keep you excited, to keep you engaged, and to keep you coming for more reviews and a couple specials as well. So make sure to check those out. But Scott, let's dive into it. Insomniac, the Spider-Verse. Scott, we talked about it the other day. Insomniac getting held up with some ransomware, and well, let the games begin apparently, because as we're getting it now, leaked documents are starting to surface. Leaked Insomniac documents could suggest a Spider-Verse game is in development. That's right, Tom Henderson at Insider Gaming has this to say. Leaked documents from Insomniac Games, a ransomware attack could suggest that the developers are working on a new Spider-Verse game. The ransomware attack was confirmed by Sony, which confirmed the sensitive employee information was compromised. As well as the employee information, new images of Marvel's Wolverine also leaked online. Watch out for spoilers, people. In addition to some references about upcoming projects spotted by a Reddit user, user Set345, 3 of these yet to be announced projects are RCE, Spider-Man 3, and Spider-Verse. It's already known.
RCE could be.
Well, that's, yeah, I had questions on that one too. Let's see if anything else is coming up from this. It's already known that Insomniac is working on a multiplayer project, which has led fans to speculate that it could be the Spider-Verse project. Quote, I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest if Insomniac's multiplayer game is a Spider-Verse game where you get to create your own spider character. Full suit customization, select what powers you want, end quote, one Reddit user suggested. Marvel's Wolverine is set to be Insomniac's game's next project, scheduled to release in 2024. Scott, we heard that was actually 2025.
Yeah. I'm wondering if these leaks, maybe, does that mean they're out of date information, perhaps?
Possibly. Or maybe there's some hope yet we see it next year. It's unclear when we'll next hear about the studio's next titles, but multiplayer Spider-Verse game could be great if done correctly. Marvel Spider-Man has been a great success story for the studio, with the first title seeing 33 million copies by May of 2022. 2023's Marvel Spider-Man 2 sold 2.5 million units in the game's first 24 hours of release, making it the fastest selling PlayStation first-party game to date. Dude, that outdoes God of War, Horizon. Like, that's just monster numbers. But that's also Spider-Man. Like, think about that. Spider-Man.
Yeah, he's universally the best known superhero ever. Has to be.
Absolutely has to be. The Spider-Verse project, multiplayer. What are your thoughts?
That's very interesting. The idea of creating your own Spider-Man and making all the custom suit and everything. This is an incredible idea that if it's not being penned to paper, I think it should be. And I'm wondering if this has any relation to, we did remember, I forget his first name now, Mr. Todd, the voice actor for Venom.
Oh yeah,
This is maybe a month ago or more now. We were talking about it, how there was a huge amount of voice acting that wasn't used, and it seemed to suggest there was going to be a Venom-centered game, or Venom very much involved in another game. I'm wondering if that is the Spider-Verse here, or if this is yet another project.
I think the Spider-Verse is a whole separate project versus where we left off with Venom. Coming off of Spider-Man 2 leaves opportunities for definitely Spider-Man 3. Without a doubt, there's Spider-Man 3. Man, you already knew that going in and ending off that game. The way that sets up at the end, you roll partway through the credits, something else happens, no spoilers. Then you're like, oh, yo, here we go. We're getting this other opportunity. But you're left on a bit of a cliffhanger when it comes to Venom. So you're kind of going, well, what's going up next here with Venom? Could he get his own spin-off game, sort of like Miles Morales did, right? That's where we thought maybe projected them to go. What RCE stands for, I haven't got a clue, dude. Is that Resistance coming back?
No, boy. That's true. This is Insomniac. There's a lot of other things that could be worked on.
Anything is possible, right? I do like the idea, though, of having a Spider-Verse be your own customized character. There's definitely a lot of suits you can get into with Spider-Man 2 and the opportunities there to change things up, colors. But there isn't a lot when it comes to, like, it's either the whole costume or nothing, right? Like, it's just one or the other.
Can you be shirtless Spider-Man?
No, you can only find Greg and Blessing in there.
You can only find them?
Yeah.
They're the only ones that are allowed to do it.
Yeah,
I'm okay with that.
Shout out to Kind of Funny. Actually, I met Blessing down at the Day of the Devs. Great guy to talk to. It was a ton of fun.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, we had a great chat. But yeah, it was cool that there are opportunities here for this where, man, like Insomniac is just firing on all cylinders right now, and they're just on fire at a whole other level that I think has brought Insomniac to that S-tier studio, right? I think they're there now, right?
They've joined the pantheon of studio development.
Absolutely. So to see what they come up with next, Spider-Man 3, definitely a given. Spider-Verse, I'm kind of surprised. I'm honestly a little bit surprised. You can get the Spider-Verse suit in the game for Miles, and dude, it's got that choppy art animation too. As he glides.
That's really cool.
It's super cool to play as that, but at the same time, man, I don't know if I want to play my entire game that way. But if we can get in, make my own Spider-Man, you can have your own Spider-Man. There's got to be some kind of co-op going on in there, right? So we can team up and this
sounds like a great way to print money.
Well, there is that, but what else are they working on? Is the Spider-Verse truly the multiplayer game that they've mentioned that they're just playing or working on?
Yeah.
Or is it this RCE title? And I'm hoping really that it is the RCE title. I think Insomniac wants to tell a focused story when it comes to Spider-Man, because it is such a beloved IP. I think they want to be able to pay attention to certain positions to set you up in the story that isn't going to be hindered by you having a co-op person come by talking in your ear. You're missing the story, right? Spider-Man is such a story-heavy focused game that you don't want to mess that up and lose out on those special moments that are created. Dude, the Sandman intro to Spider-Man 2, pure magic in that whole sequence there. All that unfolds and the way it all kind of opens up the rest of the game. You can, but you can't quite do that same scenario when it comes to a multiplayer game. There are definitely opportunities to set up some stuff, but man, when you're in a party, like Payday 3 comes
meaningful.
Dude, Payday 3 comes to mind, right? I'm watching the cutscene, so I know what we're getting into. Well, you're yapping in one ear, my brother's in my other ear, and then I think we had Steve or Kyle with us too. And I'm like, man, I don't have a clue what's going on, and I don't want that for a Spider-Man game. With topic number 2, we're talking about Disney says there's still a lot of demand for a Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake.
I demand it. Yeah. I demand it now.
Tom Ivan over at VGC. Billed as a collaboration between developer Asper and production partner Lucasfilm Games and Sony Interactive Entertainment, the game was announced in September 2021 as a timed PS5 console exclusive. However, the remake has reportedly been beset by problems over the last couple of years, and recently there has been conflicting reports about whether it remains in active development. Last we heard, Scott, sounds like it got shut down altogether, didn't it?
Yeah, that's the last thing I had seen, was that it did not seem like this was going to happen.
Exactly. But might have some turnaround here. Quote, not a lot I can say on that point for some hopeful, obvious reasons, but KOTOR is obviously an incredible popular game, one that was incredibly proud of and think that there's still a lot of demand for, end quote. Disney's head of gaming, Sean Shoptaw, told Axios. Embracer Studios owns Asper and Saber Interactive were both confirmed to be working on the game in May of 2022, and it was later claimed that Saber had taken over development of the remake. After it was claimed last month that the game was no longer in active development, Bloomberg reporter Jason Schreier said he'd heard that this was incorrect. Quote, can't say whether the KOTOR remake will ever actually come out, but yes, 2 people from Saber Interactive tell me they're still on it, despite recent rumors that nobody is working on the game, end quote, he said. Scott, there is conflicting evidence all over what is happening with this game. There is definitely high demand. I don't think there's, without a doubt, Disney's not seeing the call out for the remake, right? The problem lies is, well, you heard me say it, Embracer.
Embracer. Yeah, this has me worried because, well, everybody knows what Embracer is really good at, shutting down production and whole studios entirely. But
Yep.
I'm wondering if there is some demand for this game now. But if we wait too long and it doesn't come to market, I don't think that demand is going to live for very long. Because you speak to gamers, I don't talk to everybody, of course, but speaking to gamers of the new generation, nobody really knows what KOTOR is. They don't really know, BioWare is not in their mind at all. KOTOR is not a memory for them. So I think this is a limited opportunity.
I think you're onto something. I think you're correct. But partly, I think KOTOR has the name and recognition from us older generation.
There's a lot of us that will get it. Yeah.
us old guys. It's funny because I never played KOTOR, but it's one of those games I've always heard about. So when I saw the remake, I was like, yo, here's an opportunity. I can finally jump in, right? Me and millions of others will probably jump in the opportunity to play this. But yeah, when you talk about the new generation, dude, my kids are playing Fortnite.
Yep.
Fortnite blew up again, right? Again. They just launched this whole Lego portion of it, the
I still haven't played that,
Rock Band portion of it, and the rocket racing. Like, man, it's like it is unstoppable. But if I mention KOTOR to my 16-year-old, he's like, "What's that?"
Yeah, and he stands the best chance of knowing.
Exactly. Versus my 12-year-old, who's like, "I'm just
you know
doing
what? I'm
this, Dad."
coming to think of it. I think I played that game last probably about 16 years ago.
Right? So that's just it. But KOTOR is such a beloved, one of the best RPGs ever created. There's opportunities here to then introduce Star Wars and the KOTOR franchise or the game to another audience, including my kids, right? Where they, hey, you know Star Wars. Have you played this? Have you seen this? Come check this out. The biggest problem, though, comes down to the fact that Asper and Saber Interactive are all attached to Embracer Group. And you never know what Embracer Group is doing. We didn't know what they were doing. We talked about this. I don't want to beat his story to death or anything, but Embracer Group is horrible. They're just a brutal company right now who's shutting down studios, laying off people left, right, and center. And it's just disheartening to see what they're doing to our industry. That I don't know if you have the faith right now to put into Saber and Asper to pull this off without getting shunned and turned away and pushed away from Embracer. This is one of their biggest opportunities. Dude, this is one of their biggest opportunities to kind of save this company.
Yeah, to kind of pull the Embracer fiasco and make something positive out of all this. That really is it.
But
just like Star Wars, we need a new hope.
Scott, there's definitely a few people we follow pretty heavily when it comes to the game industry because they always got it right on the beat, right? Steven Dattilo, definitely one of those gentlemen. He posted over on Twitter an interesting little tidbit. He says, oof, November US video game hardware spending is down 24% compared to a year ago. PS5 first, Xbox second, Nintendo Switch showing the sharpest drop year on year. Modern Warfare 3 was the top game already second best selling for the year behind Hogwarts Legacy.
Oh, behind Hogwarts Legacy. Don't want to let that detail go.
No, because where I want to take that next is the fact that Hogwarts Legacy didn't get a single nomination at the Game Awards.
Yeah, that is really baffling. I wasn't expecting it to. We've talked about this a little bit as time goes on. I don't expect it to have gotten Game of the Year.
No.
But I do expect it to have been nominated for something, surely.
Awarded something, right? Like, there was definitely a lot of magic behind that game. No pun intended there. But it was definitely, like, there are moments of, like, being wowed. The world was beautiful. I thought the characters were cool. I thought the story was great. Like, there's opportunities for them to have some kind of presence, but to be completely out of the conversation altogether, it's just a little odd to me. But take a look at Xbox's second place, because Phil Spencer said Xbox is losing, that they're in third place, when in fact, Steven Totillo pulling out some numbers shows that they're in second place, with Nintendo Switch coming in third. This is hardware sales, okay? Now, having said that, the Switch is coming up on 8 years, Scott. It's old.
Holy, yeah, it is. It is now.
Right?
Just coming to think about that, it's been nearly a decade now. Of course it's starting to slow down. Everybody has more than one now.
Well, that's well, that is it too. It was funny because I played my Switch on the trip over to the Game Awards, and as I'm on it, I'm playing. I'm like, man, I don't want to be on this. I really didn't want to be on it anymore because it is outdated. But yet, when I'm on it, dude, I'm still having a good time. Like, I'm having fun. I was playing Hyrule Warriors. What a great game. Just smashing my way through everything. It was a ton of fun. The Nintendo Switch has something. It all comes down to, I think, next year when we get the Switch 2. That's going to be a game changer.
That's going to be the biggest thing. It's funny enough, Nintendo kind of grows on me as I grow older and separate from it.
Yeah.
I appreciate my Switch more now than I did maybe a year ago. But I would appreciate a Switch 2 that much more. Let's bring us up into the modern era. It's been a while.
Dude, it's Nintendo. You think they're going to bring us to the modern era?
No, we'll get halfway here.
Yeah, exactly. And then to end it off, too, was Modern Warfare 3, the top game. However, just shy of Hogwarts Legacy. Modern Warfare 3, Call of Duty, still unstoppable, Scott.
Yeah, this was glorified DLC. Sold very good numbers for being glorified DLC.
Yeah, they just seem to be coming around year after year, making more and more Call of Duties. And everybody talks about how bad it is at times, but yet they're always buying it. Call of Duty is always the #1 selling game, right? It is always at the top of the list, top 5 games of the year when it comes to numbers. Again, another game not at the Game Awards. It's just an interesting spin off of how some of these are looked upon, but when it comes to sales, then why aren't they in that Game of the Year discussion, or why aren't they in some of those categories? Now, if you don't know, the Video Game Awards are picked upon from the industry, right? So they are media outlets. Maybe one day we'll get into that kind of wheelhouse, but we'll see if we get there. But they are picked from like IGN, from Polygon, from these kind of funnies. Those outlets all compile and make the list of the Game of the Year, the nominees, this, that, and the other for all these categories. And for one reason or another, Call of Duty is never in that discussion. And Hogwarts this year wasn't there either. But yet they're both at the top when it comes to selling this year. It's an interesting thing.
I think what it does say is that these games are not lesser, even though they haven't been mentioned. That's not really what's important. These games are still incredibly good, and it's just been a very packed year. That's really it. Man, can't give them all an award.
No, that's for sure. It's been a standout year, which makes me a little nervous going into 2024 to see what 2024 looks like for games. Can it compete to 2023? Will we have that kind of high caliber of those titles come out again? I don't think we'll have as many. I think we're gonna have some incredible games, but I don't think we'll be as swamped with so many AAA titles. Like September almost killed us, right? Like, it was just everybody's wallet was empty. It was just, there's so much to play all at once. Will we see September turn around again this year into 2024 like it did, well, in 2023? Very curious.
No, we're going to see the numbers drop off, and let's try not to be too negative because the world is changing. When you get to the top, there's only down to go.
I don't know, man. I want to stay at the top. Keep me at the top, Scott. I don't want to drop, dude. Switch 2, right? keep
that might
going.
bring us back up to the top.
We could be there. What do we get at launch with Switch 2? Another Super Mario Brothers?
Oh, another Zelda that's linear, I hope.
They're not going back to it, man. They're not doing it. But
No.
yeah, always interested to see where our industry kind of lies at the end of the year. What games really are on top versus the Game Awards. Pretty cool. It's got more disappointing news coming out of Embracer as Free Radical Designs reportedly closed its doors. This is Jeffrey Russo over at GamesIndustry.biz. PlayOn confirmed the closure of Free Radical Design in a statement on Tuesday. Quote, "It's with a heavy heart that we must announce yet another difficult decision," end quote. The Embracer-owned publisher wrote, quote, "Today, we have to confirm the official closure of Free Radical Design and say goodbye to many remarkable, talented, and hardworking people," end quote. It continued, quote, "We are beyond grateful for their incredible contributions to PlayOn and wish them the best of luck and success on their professional journey from here on out," end quote. Scott, when's it gonna end over at Embracer?
No, it's generally a pretty boilerplate response. I'm getting all jumbled up because we've done this story 100 million times now.
Yeah.
Embracer just closes everything in that they touch, and it's just hard to understand.
It's too bad because they were working on a Time Splitters game, and man, it's been forever.
That could have done big numbers, man. Everybody I talked to that played Time Splitters would buy that up in a second.
That's just it. It has some fan base already behind it, and they just closed something that was actually a bit of a well-known IP and the studio. And again, once again, our heart goes out to everybody affected. If you were under Embracer, man, I'd be terrified right now. It's just, I hope it ends soon because it just needs to stop. We really need to stop. Embracer needs to figure things out or just close the whole company down, I think, at this point, and sell off all those other studios to people.
Yeah, sell it back.
Exactly. Give it back to Square Enix. My goodness, give them something back to save these people. Because it's just an embarrassment to our whole industry of what Embracer's doing to them. But yeah, it continues. And as it continues, we keep covering it. Scott, there's a long list of games out today, man. And sometimes this makes me scratch my head. What is this? What is that? But it's always cool to see something new and something for everybody to play. What are they into today?
We have Banson Knights on PC, console release coming later. Raku Venture on PC, PlayStation 4, 5, Xbox One, X and S. Ciorama, The World of Shipping on PC. That one seems very exciting if you ask me. Hardcore Mecha is now on Xbox One, X and S. Cookie Cutter is on PC, PlayStation 5, and the Xbox Series consoles. Paranoid is on PC. GTA Trilogy is now on the iOS and Android. I'm very curious to see how that runs. And House Flipper 2 is on PC.
There you go. There's a few games to play. And that'll wrap up today's show, everybody. Thank you for hanging out with us. This has been ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news each and every day. We'll be back one more day. That's right. We'll be returning for Friday, and then we're off the holidays. But until tomorrow, I'm Drew. That's Scott.
And we'll see you inside the game.